It's time now for Voices of the Region. Each week we hear from a journalist in the area about the stories that they're covering. This week, Heidi Holton from Northern Community Radio in Grand Rapids is our guest.
This week, we've been working on a story that's big news in our area that the IRRB, that's the Iron Range Resources and Rehabilitation Board, they've announced a $15 million funding for a new industry in Cohasset. Cohasset is west of Grand Rapids, and there is a new industry coming in. It's going to be at the Minnesota Power Clay Boswell former coal power plant, and it's for OSB. That's Oriented Strand Board. It's a manufacturing facility. It's going to bring 150 new jobs to the region with a median income of $31 an hour with full benefits. This is also going to be a boost for the logging industry. 150 commissioned logging trucks will be needed daily and 300 to 400 construction workers to build that new facility. So this is a company that's been making this product for a long time. The basic stuff of building, which has gone through the roof in price right now. It's like 300% of what it was a year ago. So that's why building costs are up so much. And so I think having a plant here will help with the costs of this product as well. This is a company that's been making this product for a long time. This is actually their 6th facility. They're called Huber Engineered Woods. Now, that story is part of the ongoing conversations we have with Itasca Economic Development Corporation about sort of the state of business, the state of inventors and entrepreneurs in Itasca County and all of northeastern Minnesota, actually. They have a grant through Launch MN. It's called Innovate 218. And so we've been talking about how they can help people. They can help people have ideas for maybe a new product or a brand new service in the area. Tamara Lowney is the executive director of IEDC.
During COVID, many people decided, well, maybe we don't need to live in the metro. Maybe we can go and stay at our cabin and be there. In order to create a culture of entrepreneurism, we have this really cool footprint that's unique, right? We have the artist piece of it. We have some brew pubs. We have some really eclectic gift shops and retail locations, the restaurants that are popping up. It has made for an environment that people want to go to. So you can't just say, come here, live here, and work here. These entrepreneurs, they can go anywhere they want. Right? So they want to go to a place that's very livable, that kind of has some of the things they really like.
Another story we're continuing to cover has to do with energy, clean energy, solar energy. Over the years, we've talked with this grassroots organization about bringing solar power to residents of Grand Rapids. It kind of started out as an idea for almost like a community garden. It would be a solar garden that you could opt into if you wanted to. But it is built and built over the years, over the last 4 years. It's now a collaboration with the Grand Rapids Public Utilities. This week was the groundbreaking ceremony of the Itasca Clean Energy Solar Plus battery storage facility. And this is unique because it represents a collaboration of a city, a municipal utility, US Solar, so that's a commercial company, Minnesota Power, and this grassroots group called Itasca Clean Energy Team. Art Norton was in with us, and he's been part of the effort for the last 5 years, and he told us more.
Of the total amount of electricity that Grand Rapids Public Utilities provides, that will be generated at a slightly lower cost than the cost that we are currently paying to Minnesota Power. So the good news is, to keep it simple, Public Utilities Commission voted to just absorb this into their budget and result in a cost savings for all of the customers.
But now, because of this big collaboration and because the city government understands the benefit of clean energy and that not only is it cost effective, but it brings more jobs to the region, I think we're going to see actually a cut in our public utilities bill. I talked with Minnesota author Mary Casanova recently about her latest book. It's called Waterfall. It's from the University of Minnesota Press. So it's set in 1922 on an island on Rainy Lake. The story is of a 21-year-old woman. Her name is Trinity Baird, and she is just out of the St. Peter Asylum. She was sent there for 2 years by her parents. So at that time, women had just gotten the right to vote, and it was okay if your husband, if your family, if someone you knew didn't want to deal with you, didn't want to deal with, as they described it, being emotional or maybe talking about difficult things like maybe sexual abuse or abuse in a family, they were sent away for hysteria. So this story really tells of the time, but when I talked to Mary Casanova, we were both noting that there's some echoes of today.
Yes, it's different, but the things that haunt me, I find are still going on today, not just in the time I'm reading about. I think bringing up the Me Too movement is a really good way of looking at that. That yes, we have freedom, but then why is it that if a woman if she seems to put out accusations of being mistreated or molested, she's often still considered suspect instead of being believed. Or if a woman is too, let's talk politically, if she shrieks, and I mean in the sense of raising her voice or sounding too angry, what do people talk about? It's the way she carries herself instead of what she's actually saying.
There's also parts of the book that have to do with mental illness, that have to do with racism. Part of the story is about the lynchings in Duluth in 1920. And so there's themes in this book, even though it's set in 1922, that really resonate today.